to Scriptwriting 101. Now, each sequence has a reason for existing within a story. Now, if you look at your first sequence is usually what we call the setup. Basically, that's where you find out a bit more about the character. Who is this character? What is the world that the character actually lives in? Your second sequence is what we call the inciting incident. Now, you will find that different movies have different places wherein the inciting incident will take place. If we have to look at a movie like Get Out, the inciting incident you might think happens pretty late on in the movie. Actually not. The inciting incident is any time a character makes a decision to leave the world that they know, whether it's their home, and like in Get Out, then they go into this special world where he goes to his girlfriend's parents' house. The second act is what we call fun and games. That's basically the bulk of the story. Now let's look at Moana. In Moana, when she meets a giant crab, what basically happens there is that you actually find out a bit more about who Moana is. She's got a set of beliefs as well as actions that create the character of who she is, the things that she does. So, when she faces off against the crab, what does she do? When she meets Maui, what does she do? Now, when she comes into contact with these different characters, you actually see the conflict between herself and the different characters that she's coming into conflict with. Now, these sequences generally just through different scenes set up the tension, build up the tension, and then release the tension, meaning that whatever's being set up has to always be resolved by the end of a certain sequence. Now, these sequences actually contribute to the greater narrative, which is the great tension that she's dealing with. The third act is where we have what we call the climax. Now, the climax is where all of those conflicts, that grand tension that's been running throughout the movie, basically clashes with the character. The one thing that you have to realize with any character is that a character has a want and they have a need. And it's in the third act climax where those things actually come up against one another and a choice has to be made. Oftentimes, the last bit that we all like with a really good story, the resolution, is when a characters realize that what they want and what they need are two separate things.